To my presentation on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders. Some key things to remember before starting this presentation is if you need an interpreter, let me know. The emergency exit is straight out this door. Toilet location straight out the door and turn right. Smoking area straight out the door. Please turn all mobile phones off. And refreshments are here after the presentation. Let's start with the welcome to acknowledgement of the country. We'd like to acknowledge that the land we meet on today is a traditional land for Kaurna people and that we respect the spiritual relationships with their country. We also acknowledge the Kaurna people as traditional custodians of the Adelaide region and the cultural and heritage beliefs still important to the living Kaurna people today. About the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people for our local area, including many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people were moved to mission or reserves where they were forbidden to speak their own language. Within research and previous census, it shows that 338 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders are within my local area. The group name for the Aboriginal people who live in Mulvale are called the Kaurna people. Legislations that affect both Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Here are all the legislations that may affect your state or territory. Concept of community, kinship and family. Kinship is an important part of the Indigenous cultural and values. It includes all relationships and being related to and belonging to their land. And community and family is about being able to belong in the central to the Aboriginal people. The impacts and the trauma on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders include poor health outcomes. Some of the protocols for your local communities may include getting to know the people who live within your community and making sure you interact with them, finding out the usual places that they meet and if it would be appropriate to meet them there. Women's business. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders customs need to be observed, such as men and women's business. These protocols need to be respected. Women are expected to care and protect for their children. Men's business is a part of the protocols. Men are expected to take hunting and providing for their family. These protocols are still valued and reflected in their culture as of today. Sorry business. This is practice of mourning and reflection of those who practice and are also respected, and it's important to make sure they are not interrupted. Situations that may require the use of cultural brokers and how you engage with cultural brokers. Some leaders and elders do not speak English. It's important to include them and make sure they are approved of everything that we are doing. Approaching elders and leaders is a huge part of cultural safety and should not be overlooked just because of the language barrier. Cultural awareness, including what cultural awareness is and how we gain cultural awareness. Cultural awareness is including learning about the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It's important to be aware of their beliefs, values and traditions. It's important to involve Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders in planning and also their strategies. How mainstream system and service impacts on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders engagement. It's believed that there is a community responsibility to care for each other and some don't know how to access this service. Knowledge of cultural safety. Cultural safety is very important practice that makes sure the needs of the individuals are respected and met. Knowing how to aspect of your cultural may limit the effectiveness of the work with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, for example, bias. I need to gain the best possible insight into the community I'm working with to give them the most effective help. It's important that I reflect on my cultural bias to make sure no bias is reflected in my work. Best practice engagement in process includes incorporating cultural safety into the practice frame. Safety reflection is a cultural and ongoing professional development and improving professional practice. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people keep us from projecting our values to others. It's the importance of self-reflection when promoting cultural safety, including the understanding and identifying personal values and the values of culture. 1, how do you feel about connecting with a client? Practice guide will be reviewed, evaluated and revised. This will help an organisation know what they need to improve on and what they might want to add to meet everybody's needs. Meeting a client's needs are important to the organisation to be able to keep the organisation running. Thank you for coming to my presentation, and there will be refreshments.